think it's still evolving. My first year, we had a veteran group, and it was kind of easy, and we just kind of transitioned. And then it started to become my players and kids that had my DNA, and we're still kind of trying to figure it out. And this is the first group I've really felt comfortable with and felt that I had guys that were like me.
This year, I think it's going to be a better year. We have new players, very skilled. We all are willing to learn and stuff like that, so we'll definitely be ready. My favorite thing about the team is that we're competitive and we just stay connected for one. So, in practice we're dogs, but in game time we all always know that we're family.
I think I finally found a group of guys that have my DNA and just eat, drink, and sleep basketball like I do, and are serious and professional and tough. I'm looking forward to seeing what the season brings. I think being around the kids, our mission statement is to bring in kids and have them leave as men and prepare them for life through basketball. So I think that's probably my favorite part.
Coaches always tell us, you gotta work hard, whether, it's in a game or out of a game. So in practice, I like to get on guys to make sure they're doing the drills, working hard, going hard. And I just think this year, these guys have just definitely showed that. And when we play against each other, 5-on-5, nothing's easy, you know what I mean? We don't let each other just slide by anything. We're aggressive with each other. We push each other to get each other better. And I just think when it's game time, we're all ready.
My definition of hard work is when you're working when no one else is watching. So you have that same work ethic as when somebody's watching. Our toughness, our mentality for the team is every day you come in to work, every day you come in to practice, nothing is easy. You gotta work hard, everything competitive. You pick your brother up if he fall. So when the game comes, everything is just secondhand. You just do it and not think about it.
Connected. That's the one word we've been looking for the last 2 or 3 years, is just being really connected. When you send out a message to the group, everybody responds, everybody likes it. Guys are together, the guys high-fiving each other all practice long. When you come off the bench, off the floor onto the bench, everybody's there to greet you. When the guys on the bench are in the game, the starters are really excited for them. And I think being connected is the #1 attribute of great organizations.
If I had to define the culture of my team, I would say it would be definitely hard work and staying connected. That's one thing our coach preaches a lot, because it's definitely important for us, and we're definitely going to need it in the long run, especially for this year.
I think with new players, the first thing you do is you kind of go over your values and what's important to you as a coach, what you're looking for in guys, and you just constantly harp and be honest with them day in and day out. We're looking for guys that are connected. As I said, we're looking for guys that are confident. And to get confident, you have to be hardworking. If you're not prepared, you're not going to be confident. Kaizen is a word in our core values, and that is 1% better every day. And we're looking for guys that believe and live that. We're looking for guys that are mentally and physically tough, and then we're looking for guys that are willing to be held accountable.
The biggest challenge for me, I would definitely say, was confidence in my game. Last year, it definitely was a big problem, but talks with the coaches, he got me in the gym, got my game up, and it's just like I'm way more confident than last year. I had to talk to myself, even with the coaches and even teammates, they told me they see great things in me, and I just have to be confident in order to be a great player. So that's definitely one thing I'm doing this year. One thing I definitely would be able to take from my coach is that if he never got on me from the day I got here to the day I finish, I would never be the player I would be. And I just know that in future terms, I have so much potential to be even better player, and possibly an NJ player of the year, defensive player of the year, whatever it may be. But I just know that if my coach never got on me like he does now, I just wouldn't be able to be where I am.
That we came in here every day to work hard, and hopefully we get a ring. The biggest challenge is definitely practicing, staying focused in practice, managing my homework and basketball and stuff like that.
My experience with Coach Matthews was of constant laughing and enjoyment, and you know, he was great. It was the most serious person, you know, for 2 or 3 hours a day, and then once practice was over, just lighthearted. And you know, him and I actually had a lot of laughs this morning, so our relationship is still awesome. And you know, I kind of miss having him around every day. I learned about being really detail-oriented. I learned a lot about how to hold guys accountable, yet still show them a lot of love and affection, and let them know you really care about them. There was nobody better at getting guys to run through a wall for him, and I kind of think that's how he did that. And you know, he kept things simple in his way, and I think that's really important as well. Well, the future of the program is bright because, you know, it looks like our 2 best players are a freshman and a sophomore. Not only are they our 2 leading scorers, but they're probably our 2 best defenders. They're probably our 2 toughest kids. They're our 2 most serious professional kids. And you know, I'm excited about the next 3-4 years with those 2. And guys are seeming to fall in line with them, which is unusual to have a freshman and a sophomore as your leaders. I mean, I think every day our main goal is to teach life skills through basketball. So, you know, whether it's outworking your opponent, working hard even though you really don't feel like working that day, being able to handle your moods. You know, I always tell our guys, you got to come in here and manipulate your mind every day. And if you don't really feel like being here, you got to talk yourself into it. I tell our guys all the time that, you know, if somebody asks you how you're doing, you just say you're doing great. You know, whether you are or you aren't, and I think pretty soon you start believing it. So just attributes like that, just being excited about being at work every day and outworking people, and I think that'll suit them well later in life.
I think, first of all, I think it's been a really good first year, challenging in some respects, but fun at the same time. I think my main priority with the team, and I think that's more like an evolving situation, is just talking about team culture and implementing a really good team culture with my program. And it's all about how we walk through the halls of the academic buildings, to how we present ourselves, to how we play basketball, and how we treat each other. So a lot of it is team culture and just changing who we are and how we identify ourselves. And that's probably the biggest evolvement part or piece that we've been dealing with this past year.
So when I came in as a freshman, I got the opportunity to play with some of the best players in the country. And we were a very experienced team at the time, and this year we have a very young team. We have a new coach, so we're still you know, learning the ways of each other and how we work well together. So I'm kind of excited to see how this program evolves even more. I came to Stockton because of the warm environment that this program has given off. So especially this year, we've known these girls that are new to our program for a couple months. So it's really cool to be a part of something, even though it's a short amount of time. We got to know these girls pretty well, and it feels like a family.
I like the sense of family that Stockton has. You know, even after people graduate from here, they still come back and they're still a part of what Stockton is. I like how diverse we are. We all come from different places, we all have different backgrounds, and it adds a lot to the team.
There's so many things that I like about my girls. I love their personality. You know, just going into practice, there's always something funny that we're laughing at, or you know, somebody that we can laugh at. But I think their personality is such a draw to myself and the other assistants. We talk about it all the time, and I think they just make it a fun atmosphere. So team culture is really a part of who I am. I've researched it a lot and looked at other coaches and what they do as far as how they walk and talk with their program. So it's really become something I'm passionate about. And it's one of those things where I'm really, really fortunate with my senior and junior leadership that they embody that for me.
Right now, I think we're still building our culture since we're so fairly new. You know, last year we're still trying to find ourselves, and I think this year it's more of trying to find an identity, you know, being accountable for each other and trying to unite as one right now. So I'm sure within the next couple years we'll have like a really strong culture that these athletes that are coming into the program really want to be a part of. I think our strong suit right now is being really focused in practice, because you know, when we don't have a good practice or we're not focused that day, it kind of transitions into how we play and you know, our game, whether it's like the next day or a couple days after. So we really try to build our like mental focus, so we're really prepared for our game or even our next practice. If we're not playing for a couple days, it's really important to you know, have that like mental strength and you know, our mental toughness that we're really big on.
We talk so much about how basketball is life, and as many times as we talk about it, I really try to instill the life lessons that basketball will translate into their lives in 2 and 3 years. So a large part of it, even you know, mainly just dealing with young females, is having confidence. And I tell them all the time, whether we're you know, talking one-on-one and how we give eye contact with one another. I think that confidence is a huge deal in how they represent themselves and how they walk in the world outside of Stockton. You know, as a young adult, as a young female, confidence is huge, and I try to instill that in them with how they work on the basketball court and how they represent themselves as young ladies and how they're confident in their walk.
She has this one saying, it's I'd rather be loud and wrong than to be quiet and right. And I feel like I need that, because I'm the type of person where it's like if I don't really speak about things I'm not confident about, and sometimes I can be right, so I take that with me.
So our team focuses on a couple core principles: leadership, accountability, commitment, and communication. We're really big on communication and accountability. I feel like they really tie in together, because on the court, if we're not communicating on defense or offense, we're kind of really off. And even off the court, we have to kind of hold each other accountable, whether we know when we're going for practice or practices, or if everybody's wearing like the same color socks. It's really the small things that turn into the big things. So if we're accountable for each other, we can be accountable for ourselves, and that kind of just leads to our success at the end of the day.
First off, respect. I mean, I think that's number one for anybody. You always are supposed to give someone the same respect that they give you. Responsibility, you're always responsible for what you do and the things that you have to get done. Accountability, you always have to put yourself accountable for everything. You always have a part of something that you need to do. Communication, always have to communicate, even on the court and off the court. You always have to talk about the things that you need to talk about. And hard work, always going 110%.
You know, I think just going back from last year, I think every win that we had was a huge victory. You know, and it's a huge testament to the players that were on the team last year. I thought, you know, it was hard for them to buy into a new coach that had different demands, had a very different coaching style than what they were used to. So I knew last year was going to be challenging, and in that respect, I thought every win was a huge win for us. The future of the program, I do have a vision for the program, and now in my second year, and I'm asked this question not often, but I think about it all the time. And this year, being in my second season, we're taking things day by day. You know, I have a goal in my head of what we should look like by the end of the year, but that's the technical piece of what our defense looks like, how our help has gotten better, how we're managing and defending on the ball. We talk a lot about offensive execution and how we're sharing the basketball and how we're looking for each other to take the best open shot. So those are things that are a little bit more short-sighted in how I want my team to look, but I think this is the first time that I'll have it on record that I do want to win an NJAC, and I can see us doing that within the next 2 to 3 years.